Part number 2 of our Odd Jobs videos. If you haven't seen number 1 yet, then there should be a link somewhere here where you can click and watch it. These are just the jobs that didn't make it into a video of their own last year. So without further delay, let's go over and see what we have this time. So why on earth would you want to take a lovely piece of grass like that and smother it in sand and literally ruin the whole thing? Well, it's called top dressing. And the reason we top dress, for a various number of reasons, usually it helps with thatch. The sand has very good drainage, so that helps to reduce the thatch after we've done the holotining. But in this case, the reason we're doing it is to smooth out the playing surface. When you put sand on, because sand is very fine, it goes into all the nooks and crannies and starts to fill in all the little gaps so that it starts to become smooth. The bits where there's more sand, the grass will grow through that and grow into it, and then when we cut, that will then become the new level, the new surface. So if we move in closer, you can see here that there's areas of the green like here which is very short, the grass, and then about here the grass starts to get a bit longer, and that's because there's a very small kind of valley which is where this grass is growing, and that's what the top dressing is doing. It's getting into those imperfections and smoothing them out so it's all the same level. Because when the mowers are cutting, they're fairly rigid. Even the one that we're using, which kind of adjusts a little bit, it's going to go over an area of about 80 centimeters, I think it is, and it's going to cut all of that at the same height. But of course, if you have a little kind of swale in there, it's going to go over that grass and leave that grass in the swale longer. So the sand gets into these holes, and then also the parts where there's gaps like down here, it gets into these holes and starts to flatten them off and gives the grass somewhere to grow into. From now, after putting the sand on, he passes around with the like a coconut mat which hangs on under at the back of that buggy, and that helps to smooth it all out and to get the sand into all the little holes. And then we put lots and lots of water on it so it soaks it all in, and then we get a nice smooth level. On these greens, because they're new, it's probably going to take a few goes at that until they get decently smooth, because that's not going to happen overnight with one top dressing. So we're doing a real good one now. You can see there's a lot of sand on that green, and then after that we'll do a lighter one, probably again next week or in a couple of weeks. We'll do a lighter one and make sure that we can smooth it out as much as possible so we can have a nice surface to putt on. So we got halfway through doing the top dressing and the machine packed up. The wheels are buggered, so we're going back to doing it old school, which is standing in the back of the workman, somebody shaking the door at the back, another person driving, which today is my lovely daughter. Hello, Carmen. And that way we can get the same effect and leave a layer of sand all the way around the green, like you see we're doing here on the 9th hole. It's a lot more harder work than the machine, but it gets the job done until we can get the top dresser fixed. I'm here with my man Lawrence. Say hi, Lawrence.
Hi.
He's on school holidays and he's got nothing better to do than to help me doing the top dressing like we were before, using the workman and spreading all the sand out of the back of the workman, as you can see, just like the top dresser does. But my hands are starting to hurt me now. It's almost done though. So there's the completed job. What do you say, Lawrence?
It's good.
Hard work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard work, isn't it? But it needs to be done. And that now we're going to get lots and lots of water on there. All that sand will soak in and start to flatten off that surface and make it nice and smooth so we can putt on it. That's exactly what we want to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We want to play some golf. High five. Well done. Good job, man. Good job. Must be about 40 degrees. We are sweating it out here and it's midday. It's crazy work. Tomorrow we've got some turf coming for the tees. We're going for a very fine leaf kikuyu grass, which is a very aggressive, very strong grass that repairs very quickly. Perfect for the tees around here. So our plan initially was to grow it in with sprigs, but we're not going to have the time to do that if we want to open. What we're doing here though is we're just digging out a little bit the layer, just to bring the layer down just a couple of centimeters to allow us to put the turf in without creating that step, and getting rid of all that rubbish and that debris that's on the top that's died off now. And then that'll be perfect. We'll smooth it over, put a bit of topsoil on, and that'll be perfect for putting the turf on tomorrow when it arrives. Fingers crossed. My main man Lawrence here is back to help. Give us a wave. He's a good kid. Hello, Ken.
Hi, buddy.
So we had a lot of pine trees that had fallen down on the golf course, and instead of wasting them, we needed to generate some new, make some new tee markers, because obviously the design of the course is changing. The old ones are not valid, plus they were pretty ugly. So we've decided to use these cut down tree trunks, and we're going to get a nice plaque printed out, kind of a clear perspex with all the information of the hole, with the map of the hole and the distance, etc, etc, and that will be one big one on each tee, and then both of the forward tees, the kind of the reds and the blues, they'll have a little miniature version of it. So it just utilise what we've got around the golf course, and nothing goes to waste.